Zella. She lives on Seven Sisters Road, and this is what she told me. Let's have a listen.
I'm by the window right now. I can still see the scene. I live right in front of it. I was in bed, just trying to fall asleep, and I heard a lot of noise outside, and the street in the park was usually noisy, but never that much. So I got off bed, went to the window to see what was going on, and I saw so many people shouting very nervously, taking over half of Francis's road. There's usually a lot of people in here, but not like that. So I understood that something bad had happened, and they were quite nervous. I didn't see anyone fight, but definitely very nervous. I just kept watching. So I didn't see what happened in the beginning, but I kept looking and taking pictures after that.
Just give me an idea of where it is. What road are you looking at, and what is happening now? What are you looking at now, Cynthia?
So it's Seven Sisters Road, and it's right in the corner with a little road that, to be fair, I can't see the name from here. It's just one small road. I think it's an access road just before Fossil Road. It's 1 block away from Finsbury Park Station, the side entrance of Finsbury Park Station.
Okay, and what can you see now? I mean, you said you live there, you're looking out of your window at the scene now. What can you see now?
The situation is much more calm right now. The people are just there. The police is still around. They're isolated the entire road. There are about 15 police cars in here, probably more. That's what I can see from the angle of my window. There's a lot of ambulances as well, but they're left. They're just not left now here. They're gone now. Police is still around talking to people in the area nearby, and in the corner where the accident happened, or before the accident, I don't know. It's calm now. There are some people injured still on the floor, being treated, but there doesn't seem to be anything too bad. It was really ugly before. I could see at least 2 people on the floor, not moving, and police officers trying to bring cardiac massage.
Okay, so there seems to be the picture that you sent in, Cynthia. We're showing to our viewers now. There seems to be a lot of people there. It seems interesting that 20 past midnight, there are a lot of people on the streets. Is that normal for that area of town?
What happens is that this is a very mixed community. So we have people from so many different countries and different cultures as well. So we have a church in one corner, an evangelical church in another, and a mosque around the road. So everybody is fine. Everybody's been fine. I've been living here for 3 years now. So and what they usually do, because it's right under my window, so you can see there. Some of the meeting people, when they leave and come to the prayers, they just gather in this corner and talk for a bit in the evening before they go home. And now it's Ramadan, so I'm guessing, well, there's usually more than them for a little bit longer because it's Ramadan mostly, so they stay outside for a bit longer. But nothing ever happens. There's never that many people anyway. So I think maybe, because when I looked through the window before, and they're shouting and screaming, and I saw some people sitting on the floor with their heads between their hands. It was really horrible to see. So I'm guessing that maybe this person who ran over, they maybe hit some of these Muslims, their elders left to the mosque, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, we had the only confirmation we had from police is that there were quarter reports of a vehicle in collision with pedestrians. So Cynthia, perhaps you can just recap what happened, what did you see when this incident happened initially? You were in bed, you say?
I wasn't back, so I wasn't looking. I had my curtains closed, so I couldn't see the scene before. When I looked through the window, it had already happened, and I just saw the people shouting.
So you were woken up, Cynthia. So were you asleep at the time, or were you woken up by the shouts?
BRB.
Were you asleep at the time?
No, I wasn't asleep, but it was about to lights off.
So you heard the shouting. Is that what made you go to the window? Can you just explain you heard and what you saw, perhaps?
I've done a lot of shouting. I couldn't really recognize any words, but I could recognize police, and there was a police car far away in Hughley Park, and I could see they were trying to get police attention. And in a matter of seconds, police car was here. They probably called for support, and in about a few seconds, so many police cars arrived. They were very quick, very fast.
Well, let's remind you of the ongoing situation in Mali, where at least 2 people have been killed in an attack by gunmen at a luxury resort outside Mali's capital.
Okay. Right, we're just watching our sister network, sister station there, Sky News. We have Rick Cornell on the phone, former advisor to 4 U.S. ambassadors, UN and FNC contributor. Thank you so much for joining us. So a couple of things that I pulled out of there as we were watching Sky News. Very interesting. One of the witnesses, this is attributed to witnesses, and some reports coming out of Lebanon, that one person jumped out of the van tonight. That's attributed to witnesses. That's also on London Bridge, when 3 men drove a van over the bridge, plowing into people and got out of the van, went to the borough market, and stabbed people and 8 people dead there.
Yeah, look, it's a tragedy. We don't know why this driver mowed out people and why someone would get out of the van. But what we do know is that she is a radical. You have to be a radical to act out like this and terrorize society. It's important to know the motive, whether it's an Islamist or an atheist. We have to know the motive because knowing the motive allows us to combat what's going on here. I was pleased to see and hear President Trump in his speech at the GCC in Saudi Arabia really take on this issue of the motive. President Trump literally went at it, and he went to the heart of the matter. He said there are terrorists who believe that they are given heavenly rewards for their actions. And President Trump made clear that that's not true. They're not going to be rewarded. They're actually going to be condemned. I think that this is a crucial message to go at the heart of the motive, because that's how we're going to stop this. We have to make sure, again, we don't know what the motive was for this latest attack. But what we do know is that we have to find out the motive and combat the motive. And the simple fact is most of the victims of terrorism these days are Muslims. It's not true in the United States, but around the world, the majority of victims are Muslim. So we must have help in the communities that can see very clearly, and I think the mosques have a special role here to make it very clear, as President Trump said, you will not be rewarded with heavenly rewards by doing these attacks. You will actually, the opposite is true, you will be condemned. And if we can get help from the mosques and others to make that perfectly clear, then these Islamists, these radicals, these people who are manipulating a religion, we will be able to combat their motive, and that's what we really need to focus on.
And Rick, these cowards seem to go after the soft targets. The Ariana Grande concert, a big concert hall, 20 people. Now we've got outside of mosques, worshipers coming out, totally unsuspecting of something like this. The London Bridge, people walking on a beautiful Saturday night. They go for these soft targets. What do we do as citizens to not be completely paranoid about this at this point? It seems they're taking vehicles, something we can't control. We can't stop a vehicle.
Correct. And the first thing is we have to make sure that we are not terrorized by this and go about our daily lives. But at the same, it is very difficult to do, but I think that it's doable if we also at the same time demand that our leaders, our local leaders, our state leaders, and the politicians in Washington, D.C., we must demand that they are doing everything possible. I heard you ask a question previously about whether or not we should be monitoring the mosques. And, my attitude is, look, we have to monitor radical conversation and radical of any type. And once we are able to demand that our politicians use all of the intel gathering techniques available to monitor radical
people.
Then we can go after the heart of why they're doing things and go after the motive. I think it's a silly argument to start talking about, whether or not we're losing our civil liberties. The simple fact is that we have to have intel agencies that are monitoring radical conversations. No one cares if you're having, no one in the government cares if you're having an affair on your spouse. Those worries are silly. What we have to demand are that politicians go after the conversations that are being held from radicals. And that doesn't mean just one religion, it could be an atheist. We have to go after the radicals. That's their motive, and that's how we solve it.
The White House just came out and said that President Trump is going to break down the situation in London and continue to follow it tonight. Are we doing enough here in the U.S.? What do you think about President Trump so far? Almost about 6 months into his presidency. Are we protecting ourselves here in the U.S.?
Well, I certainly think that we should be thankful that we have President Trump and not Hillary Clinton, because President Trump is going to implement policies that are not politically correct, but that are focused on stopping the radicals. Again, I have to go back to his speech in Saudi Arabia to the GCC. It was really an amazing moment to hear a president of the United States go after the motives of these terrorists and do it in front of a group of majority Muslim or Arab governments to say, let's work together, let's go after the places where, and the influencers, and make sure that they understand that you're not going to get a heavenly reward, you're going to get a heavenly condemnation. I really think that is key, and President Trump has gone right to the heart of the motive here, and we should be extremely happy that we have a leader that's focused on that. And one thing I just want to bring up that really begins to drive me crazy is that President Trump his ban, so to speak, that the media call it, is a temporary 90-day halt. And it has been so turned around by the media that I think that it does society a disservice if we can't have an honest discussion about the facts. The facts are that this was a 90-day reprieve for certain countries identified by the previous administration to just let stop for 90 days and fix the system. Let's ensure to our public that we are able to do anything and everything we can with the information that is given to us. And let's make sure that the system is okay. I don't understand why people would be against a temporary halt to ensure that the system is safe. It's 90 days. It is not a total ban.
I'm live streaming. I'm live to the floor. I live stream.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
Lucky, what are
They
you?
think this is a terrorist attack. I'm pretty sure it is. It is. Trust me.
That I think is extremely unhelpful. And at this point, we need to make sure that the system that we have in the United States is the best system possible. And I would be for any reprieve of 90 days. To ensure that
I'm outside.
About how that makes the United States, of course, that's why part of that big debate there. But what I'm saying is that the great thing about our current president, President Trump, is that he's bold. He calls it how it is. He lets them know, listen, you're not going to heaven. You're not. You're going to hell. And that's something that's refreshing.
It's refreshing because we've had the last 8 years of Barack Obama, who really did the opposite. He tried to apologize for any motives that people had and tried to really mock those people who were trying to focus on the motive. And he is the one who would say, well, that doesn't reflect all of the religion. Most people realize that. Most people understand that it doesn't reflect the full religion. What we're focused on is the motive, though. When people go into a place and they scream Muhammad's name, or they scream this radicalized view,
I know gonna
the
do?
rest of us outside of Washington, D.C. are pleased that we do have a president that is going after
Is
the mother
based
that
on
that's missing in this debate.
chat.
And it's why we've had this argument
Is that
in society and in the media of whether or not to call it radicalized terrorism or radicalized Islamic. And the reason why we, many conservatives have insisted on that is because it goes at the heart of the motive. We need to be able to combat the motive, and the best way to do it is to admit what it is.
What's our next step here in the U.S.? Did you say it's that so-called travel ban that's the next thing that needs to be passed?
Well, look, I don't think that having a 90-day reprieve system is the be-all end-all. I don't think it's going to, we may find that when we look at the system, that the system is good. We should hesitate or we have to, make some changes. But I think we really during this debate, we lose some of the facts. The United States is the most generous country when it comes to allowing people to come here, whether they be a visitor and there's 24 million visitors, or whether you look at the fact that you see that we allow 1 million people to become U.S. citizens every year. That's generous. That's a lot of giving. But we just want to make sure that the system is good. So I don't think that the next step is just putting all of our eggs in one basket of making sure that the 90-day reprieve for travel from certain
Ready? Did you have fun?
I think that's the only one tool in the tool belt. I think what we have to do is we have to allow our legislative politicians to put forward
really asked her. I managed to get most of them out with my little tiny crowd. One of those little tiny comes out. Must have like our favorites. Oh, one of those? Yeah, it was.
Are really problematic and harming our national security. Find them and punish them. One example is that in the Black London bombing, we had a great ally, the UK. Tell us we're not going to be able to share intel with the United States because the U.S. has believers. These are people who, and I think they're very few of them, but they're very loud. We need to root them out of our politicians in Washington. Need to be able to go and work with the intel agencies to get rid of the politics on both sides, whether they're a conservative or a Democrat that's manipulating intel, leaking it to the media to politically damage our president or any politician. I think that is a serious problem that we have, and that is the next step that must be fixed immediately.
Right, Rick Grinnell on the phone. Thank you so much. There's a lot that Democrats and Republicans cannot agree upon, but there is one thing that we should all agree upon. This has got to end. This is terrorism. Whatever's behind all of this tonight, we don't have all the information on that, but if you are just joining us, let me tell you what we do out here at Fox News. We know this happened around 12:20 a.m. That's Monday morning there in London. We know that worshipers were coming out of a mosque in North London when a van drove into a crowd of people. One person was arrested. We're hearing there were several casualties, several injuries. We don't have a number on that just right now. But one interesting thing when we're listening to Sky News, the witness there said they saw a person jump out of that vehicle with a knife and stab another person. This is all attributed to witnesses and a couple of reports that are coming out of London. But you may remember this is very similar to what we saw about 3 weeks ago on the London Bridge, where 3 guys in a van plowed through people just enjoying their Saturday night. Plowing through them, jumped out, and then stabbed people, killing 8 people. Let's go to Sky News right now, dip into their coverage and see what's happening.
Mohammed, from the beginning, tell us exactly what you saw.
Are you here?
Something crazy that you should not see not what happened. What happened was I was doing a delivery. I was going to pay. It was about 3 times in front of me. What he done was that he actually came on the bus lane, look at the road. The bus lane. So he actually came on the bus lane and he took a shot left. He actually went on top of the people. He actually ran him over. This was a man them actually run away, and one of them got put on the field. And another witness who spoke to this morning said the same thing. He said there were 3 people. So you're corroborating that. So there were 3 people in the crowd. One has been arrested by police after he was held there by worshippers. I think he here because he was going to be a right, but he got actually held him. So let me listen to you. No, I'm here talking to you. Let me finish this. Sorry, and the way the reason being is that there's not a lot of people to get him around. So there's only one of them who got held to the police team. But what I see is something we should not see. And tomorrow, if I see on the news about the guy was ill or drunk or nothing, it cannot be like that. It was reversed if it was something when I was right next to it. Muslims are done it. His name, everything would have changed. I understand this. I do understand this. Tell me more about the incident something happened. There are people who are waking up and who don't know what's happened overnight. Explain to them. So, is it possible to say just how many people were hit? Because the police say there's some serious things like that. As what happened was I've seen about 6 or 7 people on the floor. Most of them was male, which I actually have reported. It was male. I just found out the worst part. Which was the same time as the prayer was finished. It was just most of the animals of the people. As soon as they finished, one of the first things, I think the word is one way, I think there's a verse in the road. It's not even a road. So it must be safe. They don't have a purpose. Any idea what, when he was being robbed, what happened to the other 2 people? But they were away from the start. They escaped from the start. So there must be somewhere they run away. They run away. There's somewhere. We don't know where they are. It's not an incident. How would you say held him, took him away, and he's under arrest. What about the 2 other people? If somebody's drunk, you cannot hold him for 5 minutes. Specialist units that deal with trauma. Because we've seen attacks like this in London. This is something we cannot tolerate. We cannot say no. We should be in the world.
Yay!
Something that's scary. Mohammed, thank you very much for talking to us.
Hello.
We're just running a video at the moment.
I'm a focus and I'm T-Fox.
Actually, we took him away. So they arrested him, they put him in the back of the car, and they drove off. Thank you so much, Mohammed.
I have yeah, I know it's in space. I think that yours your name is oh, nice.
Mohammed, thank you very much for joining us. If you don't find much information,
I like mods. You?
it's something you've done on purpose. Deliberately targeting worshippers as they were leaving the mosque, because that's where the most amount of worshippers would have been leaving.
A shark, sorry for the spam.
asking about an arrest. The police have confirmed that one person has been arrested. This is video of that arrest. Let's just have a look at it.
Well, earlier I spoke to our Home Affairs correspondent, Mark White. So this is what he has to say.
At this stage, the main focus of the investigation would appear to be on the having been a deliberate act. I'm still waiting on confirmation that counter-terrorism command has been involved in this investigation. We know that one person is in custody at the moment. It's still very early on. It only happened just for two and a half hours ago. So emergency services are still there. You can see there's a large police contingent that's there in these police personnel carriers that have arrived at the scene around Seven Sisters Road just to seal off that area and keep people back. Of course, there are a lot of people out in the streets who were at the time that this incident happened. Of course, it was just after people attended prayers in Finsbury Park Mosque and in that local area. So there was a large group of people just gathering after prayers in that area of Seven Sisters Road. Now, what we know is that at least 10 people were hit by this van on Seven Sisters Road. Some of the reports are very worrying indeed from eyewitnesses, reporting that at least a couple of the people that they could see injured on the ground were receiving cardiac massage and resuscitation from members of the police and other emergency services on scene. London Fire Brigade have also attended, as have London Ambulance Service. We've had a statement from a senior officer at London Ambulance Service, the Deputy Director of Operations, Kevin Bate. Now, he said that we were called at 12:15 a.m. to report to a road traffic collision at Seven Sisters Road. We sent a number of ambulance crews, advanced paramedics and specialist response teams to the scene. An advanced trauma team from London's Air Ambulance has been dispatched by car. And it goes on to say that they're working very closely with other members of the emergency services at the scene. The priority, of course, to assess the level and nature of the injuries and ensure those are treated first and taken to hospital. That effectively is the triage system that is operating
Space, he's still here. He's still here.
We can tell you that armed police also attended this incident. Understandable, of course, given that by the look of it, I think certainly for a while was a deliberate attack. We think the confirmation of the police that is the case, one person is in custody. But there have been terms of vehicle-borne attacks that have happened in the UK in recent years. That, of course, is uppermost in the mind of the police investigators as they go forward.
That was Mark White, our Home Affairs correspondent, and what we're looking at is live pictures from Finsbury Park, where a vehicle has run over worshippers who are leaving Finsbury Park Mosque.
Come back.
It's Ramadan, there would have been many people in my night of Tarawih prayer, they would have been coming out of that mosque, and the incident happened outside the Muslim Welfare House. A vehicle struck pedestrians. There are several casualties. There's police and they say that one person has been arrested. We have not had James Corbyn of the opposition, but he has tweeted a statement. James Corbyn said, "I'm totally shocked at the incident at Finsbury Park tonight. I've been in touch with
Yeah, I understand.
My deciding we were giving it their coverage. We're talking to witnesses. Something we're hearing a lot from a number of witnesses that they've interviewed tonight is that there was more than one person inside that. One person was arrested. In fact, there's a video of that we don't know anything about. Got arrested for it. If in fact that video was the arrest that officials were talking about, the person who appeared in this property. We're hearing that there were two other incidents. And one witness even saying that a person jumped out of that van with knife and scalped another. None of this has been confirmed. This is all from what we're hearing from witnesses. The witness is saying that this seemed like a deliberate attack. This happened after worshipers got out of the mosque at 12:20 Monday morning during Ramadan. That's a lot of people there. In a very busy section of the way here at North London. Very, very busy place. Shops all around. And witnesses say that this van came around the corner and ran into a bunch of people. Witnesses are saying they saw 10 people on the ground. Of course, and much about the industry.
Said she took the shower today.
Might have been in there. What?
You did in the river?
She took the shower.
Oh, that means I did the night.
You did that? Right shower?
Yeah.
Where's the creek at?
It's close by our house. There's a creek around.
Saturday night.
Where they done that now?
That crowd.
I knew they moved.
Castle.
Creek over there.
Hey, where you going?
Oh my God, right around his birthday. Let me get my phone back on.
Hey, I gotta check my phone calls. Right.
Wait a minute. I remember something. So me, Yaya, Karma, and Sophie were all going to go to the indoor pool yesterday. And Mom said, we gotta stop by the house first. And then I said, yeah, so I can get my, I asked, instead of saying, instead of getting, saying, I need to get suit, my bathing suit, I said, birthday suit.
Oh, your birthday. Oh my gosh, you already got your birthday suit. Goodness.
Yeah, I messed up on that.
Well, that's okay. Everybody does that sometimes.
That was too funny.
And that was no, it's not that. It's not. Everybody does that.
I said no.
Oh, huh? Oh, okay.
Just like dog. I did sound like that.
Where's the creek at? I don't know the creek over there.
It's
Well, I've been to that house.
the one that they just like.
Yeah, was that one? Yeah. I don't remember the creek.
No,
Not like right next to
ain't gonna happen.
Anyway,
Oh, you're gonna put those on?
there is.
Those are my only sunglasses I have left. No.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm sure sometime you guys come over, I can like walk there. I remember.
Is it deep?
No,
No.
it's not deep.
Okay.
Really? Come here.
Can you swim? Yeah, you can swim.
Oh,
You just have to be careful. Those
no.
creeks.
It's dirty, and actually, I was stepping.
Yeah.
It's actually like here.
Oh, okay.
No, don't push those.
Oh,
I gotta get my chin on.
goodness sake.
Stop.
Goodness sake. Well, we'll just push it.
No.
Really? No. Yeah, but
Well,
we can't see it. We
You
can't
push
see it.
the button.
He said,
Broken.
There ain't no button right there.
I want to know how, but I gotta get this on.
shaking everywhere.
Shake, shake.
You guys need desserts.
Can we what?
Desserts.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
There's ice cream in there. Stuff.
I haven't eaten it. So. Actually, I can't eat that.
Yeah, but that ice cream's been in there for like 10 years.
Yeah, I threw that away.
They've been here 10 years. They've been here, what, So then November, so maybe December, January, February, March, April, May, June. 7 months. Been there.
I think pretty close to it. I'm gonna turn this light off. Yeah. Well, great, buddy. Great. Okay.
Yeah.
God, you guys are here. Cleared it all up.
I think I heard him say with him right here. Sound like
That's that. And she's eating, so.
I got it.
yeah,
This is just my.
you guys can have the table.
You guys. Right. Oh, now.
I don't want it.
Looks like it's a lot of hard work for too many years. It's all right. It's no big deal. Pretty cool.
Baby.
It's about time. I was wondering what the hell you were going to tell me. Oh, you forgot.
I knew. I saw the name. What did I saw the name?
About the word.
That's adorable.
Brandon, happy Father's Day.
I just want to have
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Can you say it? All right. Happy Father's Day. Yeah. All right, honey. Go now. You don't have to.
I said you want the nut.
Yeah, hand the wrapper. Then you want the nuts on tomorrow's Thursday. Why? Because I thought you liked them.
I didn't.
Well, there's a drumstick left. You want it?
Oh, look at that.
Well, there's ice cream bars and stuff.
What kind of ice cream bar are you talking about?
Well, what about your butternuts, your peanut brittle stuff? Was it good?
Why?
Mile? 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 Whoop. 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 Oh, whoop, whoop.
isn't that supposed to be true?
Yeah.
No, it ain't. Not no more. It ain't. They changed it from that to. Yeah.
Go back to the old West.
What I'm trying to say, yeah.
Cowboys.
It went from my regular license to Social Security license. They raised a big hell about it, so they changed it to now KOO something else, but not my Social Security license.
Well, my mom and dad.
Last 80219. Right. See, well, they did. Apparently, when you had your license, they did change it to Social Security. They did have an extra Social Security number.
Like a random person that was like,
They're just gonna.
yeah, but me, dad, critic for actually now.
You know, but eventually he'll figure it out. Just takes him a while. We got to sit there if you want to eat that.
Yeah, that's good playing on me.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
That's good for a couple of
When you get home, it's nice. They'll help you. Thank you. Right.
some people.
Yeah, either way.
Badly.
Look at now. We have to sit. Our birthday is standing on the chair.
In other words, hey,
Hey! Getting closer to the They give a lot of attitude. No, I don't. No, not just you. You're not saying that. Oh, yeah. Randy, what? What's this, Joe? Okay, this is Joe.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yay! Regina, why are you getting in there, mister? You're silly. You're silly. Okay. Huh? I'm not seeing it. Oh, I need it. Don't you want to tell me? Oh, here. Oh, right. What are you doing, buddy? Huh? That's Sissy's. That's Sissy's. Sissy's computer. Samara, I don't know what to do about the laptop thing, but he's on it. I don't know what to do about it, but
No, there's nothing up there for you.
siblings, I know do this stuff. All siblings do this stuff when they're young. Instead of having brothers and sisters.
Stop.
Laptop. You fucker. You want to
You want to call her? Right then.
Dad, don't let it touch the laptop. I'll think don't let it touch it. People, don't let it touch the laptop.
Oh, you're gonna come back. It's better.
That way, you got kids in there.
Yeah. Huh? Sit down. You want me to sit down?
Yeah.
Oh. I'll try. Try, buddy. Okay. What are we doing? Yeah. Oh, it's orange. Yeah, that's what I think. You want it? Okay, I'll get one. Orange. Okay, here's orange. Yeah, that's orange. Red. Yeah, good.
Oh no.
What?
Oh. And then you look up again.
Okay, good enough, brother. Good enough. How about this? Green. Yeah, green. Okay, I'll pick one. Yeah, that's red. That's red there too. Yeah, that was red. You want that one? Okay, thanks. Woo! Oh, green? Yeah, I had green. Now let's get it. Ooh, that's bad. Well, grab one. Grab one. Got purple. Oh, this one right here. Oh, this one. I'm gonna color. Are you going to come up here and color? Come here. Color.
Oh, wow. Ta-da!
All right, we get another car. Oh, this car. Yeah, there you go. Good job. Good job. Okay, now what color? Yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah. Oh, I think that might be fun. Yeah, but it's the sun. All right. Okay, now what color you want next? Oh, don't leave. Oh, no. Come here. No, come here. Let's do the color. Let's do the color. No, come here. Let's do the color. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's good. Good color. Okay, now. You need to grab you some color. Okay, now, which color do you want?
Mine.
You got a color. There's green. On the right. Oh, yeah. You've got two colors. Oh, crayon cloud. Oh, oh. Yes, yes.
We all want a lace streak.